আমি ইনা মুখার্জি, ফুড অ্যান্ড নিউট্রিশন ডিপার্টমেন্টে টিচার। আমি আজকে তোমাদের পড়াবো ইউজি সেম-5 জন্যই স্পেশালি পেপারটা, যেটা হচ্ছে FNTA কোর 90। এটার মধ্যে রয়েছে এপিডেমিওলজি অ্যান্ড পাবলিক হেলথ, যার মধ্যে একটা পার্ট হচ্ছে ওয়াটার পলিউশন। আমি কিছুটা তোমাদের আইডিয়া দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করছি। Actually, water is the most abundant and wonderful of all natural resources because of its peculiar nature. It is the hydrates of oxygen, but there is a long range of this H2O. It becomes liquid at even 0 to 100 degree temperature range. Below 0 degree centigrade, it is ice, and above 100 degree centigrade, it is vapor. So it plays an extremely essential for survival of all living organism, whatever they survive in desert or they survive in hilly area. Now, all you know that the pure water is colorless, tasteless, odorless liquid at normal temperature. But the water pollution thus can be defined as the deterioration of physical, chemical and biological characteristics of water through natural as well as anthropogenic activities to such an extent that it has become harmful for all living organism including man. What is the observation after the water pollution if occurs? The following are the signs of the water pollution: bad taste and offensive odor, unchecked growth of aquatic weeds, decreased number of fish, floating of oil, and grease on water surface. Now, these are the after effects, but what is the cause? There are a large number of water pollutants, but they can be classified into main 5 different categories. Number 1, that is the organic pollutants. Number 2, inorganic pollutants. Number 3, suspended solids and sediments. Number 4, radioactive pollutant. And number 5, thermal pollution. Now come to organic pollutant. The organic pollutants are classified as oxygen demanding waste. Number 2, disease causing waste. Number 3, synthetic organic compound. Number 4, oil spill. Number 5, sewage and agricultural runoff. What is oxygen demanding waste? One of the most important measures of the water quality is the amount of dissolved oxygen, DO, in it. Actually, before understanding water pollution, I have to give an idea of DO, that is the dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen, the saturated value of dissolved oxygen in water is in the order of 8 to 15 mg per liter or 8 to 15 ppm. If DO drops, fish and other aquatic life is threatened and in extreme cases killed. অনেক সময় তোমরা দেখতে পাবে যে নিউজে দেখাচ্ছে যে এই জায়গায় এত মাছ মরে গেছে, এই নদীতে এরকমভাবে মরা মাছ ভেসে উঠছে। এগুলো সবই হয় ওয়াটার পলিউশনের জন্য। ইনফ্যাক্ট it comes because DO drops in that particular areas. The other effect of reduced DO is undesirable taste, odor, color, prohibiting its use for domestic and recreational purpose. The oxygen demanding waste, it implies that the oxygen is demanded, mane the oxygen demanding waste are generally biodegradable organic matter contained in sewage, industrial waste from food processing, paper mills and tanneries, and agricultural waste. The 2 important measures of oxygen demand are chemical oxygen demand and biochemical oxygen demand. Chemical oxygen demand means COD, where the oxygen demand is met chemically. the amount of oxygen required to oxidize the waste chemically, and BOD is the amount of oxygen required by microorganism to decompose the waste biologically. So the full form of BOD, it is called the biochemical oxygen demand, not the biological oxygen demand, because the microbes, they oxidize the organic waste in presence of oxygen. Now come to disease causing waste. The infectious disease associated with water can be classified into 4 groups according to the mechanism of transmission, that is the waterborne disease, water waste disease, water based disease, and water related disease. Water related disease, it is example of malaria, dengue. Water is not vector in this case, but it is associated with that disease. Now the thermal pollution. As the rise in temperature decreases, the amount of dissolved oxygen DO in water adversely affecting the aquatic life. With rise in temperature, the metabolic rate increases, whereas supply of DO decreases. With rise in temperature, solubility of oxygen decreases and dissolved oxygen escapes. Further, bacterial decomposition of organic waste goes on a rapid rate. Heavy metals causing water pollution. It is another important part of the water pollution. Heavy metals, what are the heavy metals? They are referred to as metals with specific gravity greater than about 4 to 5. The most important heavy metal pollutants are mercury, lead, cadmium, and arsenic. Cadmium and mercury are non-typical transition elements. They belong to group 12, and lead is group 14 element, means 4A, and arsenic is group 15 elements, 5A. In order to understand the toxicity of the metals, the position of them is to be known. Now come to cadmium as pollutant. Source, what are the sources of cadmium as pollutant? That is from industrial effluent, cadmium nickel batteries, nuclear fission plants, and water pipes. What are the effects of cadmium? If one consumes cadmium for a large part, for many days, then it can cause kidney damage, disorder of liver, brain, bone marrow disorder, gastric and intestinal disorder. The outbreak of cadmium poisoning occurred in Japan in the form of itai-itai or ouch-ouch disease. People affected by this disease have rendered their bones fragile. Now, why this toxicity occurs? Actually, cadmium and zinc, they are very much similar, and cadmium occurs in nature in association with zinc metals. Plants take up zinc for their growth, along with trace amount of associated cadmium are also acquired. The cadmium thus absorbed replace zinc as they have same charge and almost similar size, and get attached to the active sites of the enzymes, which lead to cadmium toxicity, inhibiting the essential enzyme's function. Cadmium ion has greater affinity for sulfur containing ligands such as SH in cysteine amino acids and SH3 in methionine. The enzymes inhibited by CD include adenosine triphosphate, alkaline phosphate, and carbonic anhydrous, etc. Now, another important metal pollutant, that is mercury. Source of mercury, mining and refining of mercury. Number 2, agricultural industry producing organic mercural as pesticide and fungicide. Number 3, paper industry using mercury as cathode. Number 4, chlorine and sodium hydroxide producing industry using mercury electrode. Laboratories using mercury. Now, you have to know that all forms of mercury are not toxic. Elemental mercury is relatively inert and non-toxic. However, due to its high vapor pressure, when inhaled, it causes severe damage to the central nervous system. Inorganic Hg is highly insoluble and non-toxic. The toxicity of mercury plus 2 is due to its high affinity for sulfur atoms. Attaching itself to sulfur containing amino acids of protein, it forms bond with hemoglobin and serum albumin containing sulfhydryl group. Now, the most toxic species are, however, the organic mercurial, especially methyl mercury, as they are soluble in fat. So, lipid of membranes and brain tissue are affected. The covalent mercury carbon bond cannot be disrupted easily and thus remains for a long time in the cell. Thus in turn prohibits active transport of sugars but allows passage of potassium to the membrane, resulting in the energy deficiency in cells and disorder of central nervous system. That means they play an important role in prohibiting the biochemical reaction in body. Now, how mercury enters in food chain? Mercury and its salts are converted to methyl mercury by anaerobic bacteria such as Clostridium cochlearium in water. The conversion is supposed to be facilitated by cobalt 3 containing vitamin B12 coenzyme. The methyl group bonded to cobalt 3 in coenzyme is transformed by methyl cobalamin to mercury plus 2 forming CH3Hg plus. This CH3Hg plus undergoes translocation in plants and animals, find its way into food chain. How this enters in food chain? Mercury is converted to methyl mercury by anaerobes, then they are eaten by phytoplankton. These are eaten by insect and birds, and phytoplanktons are also eaten by small fish, which are eaten by large fish, which are eaten by man. If man takes both birds and large fish, so total methyl mercury enters into body of man and it is magnified in every stage of consumption and deposited in fish tissue of insect and exceeds the permissible level. So that is, it is dangerous for consuming this type of food. Now, effects of mercury. It causes numbness in limbs, blurred vision, deafness and mental disorder, kidney damage. This disease is called Minamata disease. Another important is lead. Sources of lead is from mining and refining. Number 2, automobile emission, that is tetraethyl lead using used as anti-knocking agent. Number 3, electrical storage, battery industry. Number 4, ceramic industry. Number 5, agricultural industry, preparation of insecticides, example hoche lead arsenate. Number 6, paints and pigments, varnishes, etc. Number 7, hair dyes, eye paints, canned foods, seafood, painted toys, etc. How lead or Pb inhibits the biochemical reaction? Actually, Pb exerts its activity through sulfhydryl inhibition. Pb has affinity for sulfur and also reacts with carbonyl and phosphoryl groups. The main biochemical effect of lead is due to its interface with chemiosynthesis, leading to the hematological damage. It prohibits utilization of oxygen and glucose for its life-sustaining energy production, that is, they interfere with normal metabolic function. One of these most harmful effects of Pb is that it can replace calcium in the bones, causing severe toxic effects while transporting to soft tissues. Chronic exposure to leads leads to weight loss, loss of teeth. In case of lead, it is also similar to mercury because organic lead like tetraethyl lead is proved to be more dangerous than inorganic lead. Organic lead can penetrate the skin, can get absorbed in the body tissue rapidly, and correlated with the in comparison with inorganic lead. Organic compounds being lipophilic are selectively localized in the central nervous system, causing high degree of toxicity. Organic lead might cause genetic modification also. You should know the tolerance limit of lead, which is 7 mg per kg of the body weight of an adult. Effects of lead are what? It causes liver and kidney damage. Number 2, mental retardation. Number 3, genetic modification. It is now another important thing is that মনে করা হয় যে রোমান এম্পায়ার যে ধ্বংস হয়ে গেছিল সেটা খুব সম্ভবত লেডের কারণে হয়ে গেছিল। কেন না সেই সময় লেড কিন্তু একটা খুব প্রেসাস মেটাল হিসেবে ধরা হতো। তাহলে কি হচ্ছে তখন প্রেসাস মেটাল যেহেতু তাহলে সবাই রোমান অ্যারিস্টোক্রেসি দেখাবার জন্য সবাই লেড কন্টেনার ইউজ করতো। তাহলে লেড কন্টেনার ইউজ করা হতো কুকিং, স্টোরিং ওয়াইন এটসেট্রা এইসবের জন্য। সেজন্য ওই লেড কন্টেনার ইউজ করার ফলে বাই লিচিং লেড কিন্তু মানুষের কনজিউম করে ফেলতো। সেজন্য আস্তে আস্তে এই রোমান এম্পায়ার এই জন্য ধ্বংস হয়ে গেছিল, এটা এখন বলা হয়। Now the villain is arsenic. It is the most important of all the pollutants now. It is a burning issue, that is arsenic as water pollutant. Sources of arsenic is what? Natural rock and soil. Number 2, agriculture and industry. Number 3, producing fungicides, pesticide and herbicide. Number 4, mining and extraction. Number 5, glass industry. Arsenic, in Earth's crust, the level of arsenic is 2 ppm. The main sources of arsenic pollution are agricultural chemicals. Arsenic can exist in two forms, trivalent and pentavalent, of which trivalent is the most toxic one. The toxic action of arsenic is due to its affinity towards sulfur. It thus attacks the sulfhydryl group of an enzyme, inhibiting its enzyme activity essential for the generation of cellular energy in the citric acid cycle. দেখো আর্সেনিকের টক্সিসিটি বোঝাবার জন্য আমি এটাতে আরেকটু ডিটেলে বলছি। পিরিয়ডিক টেবিলে গ্রুপ 5-এ প্রথমে আছে কে? প্রথমে আছে নাইট্রোজেন, তারপরে আছে ফসফরাস, তার তলায় আছে আর্সেনিক, তার তলায় আছে বিসমাথ, অ্যান্টিমনি, এরা। দেখো তোমাদের মনে কি কোশ্চেন হয় না যে নাইট্রোজেন ফসফরাস আমাদের মানে বেঁচে থাকার জন্য এত ইম্পর্টেন্ট, অথচ আর্সেনিক এত টক্সিক কেন? অ্যাকচুয়ালি নাইট্রোজেন ফসফরাস এরা এসেনশিয়াল, কিন্তু আর্সেনিক কি করে, ফসফরাসের সঙ্গে আর্সেনিকের সাইজের সিমিলারিটি একদমই রয়েছে। তার জন্য এই যে পাইরুভেট অক্সিডেজ সিস্টেম becomes less effective in generation of main energy source adenosine triphosphate ATP due to its complex formation with arsenic. Some biochemical processes involving phosphorus are also hampered due to the interference of arsenic due to its chemical similarity to phosphorus. দেখো একটু আগে যেটা বললাম, প্রিভেন্টিং এটিপি জেনারেশন। তাহলে এটিপি যদি জেনারেশন না হয় তাহলে একটা মানুষ বা একটা প্রাণী বেঁচে থাকবে কি করে? সেজন্য আর্সেনিক একদম শেষ পর্যন্ত মৃত্যুর মুখে ঠেলে দেয়। Arsenic 3 compounds coagulate protein at higher concentration levels. Another important contributors of arsenic pollution is contamination of groundwater. দেখো আগের স্লাইডে আরেকবার যাই। গ্রাউন্ড ওয়াটারে আমি একদম প্রথমেই দেখো আর্সেনিকের যে স্লাইডটা প্রথমেই দেখিয়েছি, সেখানে দেখো প্রথম লাইনেই বলা হয়েছে আর্থ ক্রাস্ট দ্য লেভেল অফ আর্সেনিক ইজ 2 ppm। এটা কিন্তু গ্রাউন্ড ওয়াটারের মধ্যেই থাকে, ঠিক আছে? তাহলে যত জল তুলে নেওয়া হচ্ছে, একটা হিউজ জল ছিল, তার মধ্যে একটা 2 ppm আর্সেনিক ছিল, কোনো অসুবিধে হচ্ছিল না। এবার হিউজ পরিমাণে গ্রাউন্ড ওয়াটার উঠিয়ে নেওয়া হচ্ছে, তাহলে কি হচ্ছে, আর্সেনিক যেহেতু হেভি মেটাল আস্তে 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 সেটা ডিপোজিশন হচ্ছে তলায়। এবার তুমি সেটাকেও ছাড়ছো না, সেই জলটাকেও তুলে নিচ্ছ ন্যাচারালি, সেখান থেকে আবার সেই আর্সেনিকটা আস্তে আস্তে ছড়িয়ে পড়ছে। কিন্তু তাহলে এই আর্সেনিক কি কি এফেক্ট করতে পারে? মেজর এফেক্টস অফ আর্সেনিকের মধ্যে প্রথম হচ্ছে অ্যাফেক্টস লিভার, ড্যামেজেস বোন ম্যারো অ্যান্ড সেলুলার এলিমেন্টস অফ ব্লাড, causes central necrosis and cirrhosis, may lead to skin cancer. আর্সেনিককে কিন্তু বলা হয় ব্ল্যাক ফুট ডিজিজ। তার কারণ কি, পায়ের তলাতে সমস্ত কালো 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 দাগ হয়ে যায়। এবার আমি আরও একটা জিনিস বলি, এই আর্সেনিককে তাড়াবার জন্য তাহলে কি করা উচিত? যে সমস্ত লোকেদের আর্সেনিক হয়, আর্সেনিক মানে ট্রিটমেন্ট করতে হয়, আর্সেনিক ডিজিজ হয়, তাহলে কি বলা হয় তাদেরকে? বলা হয় ওষুধ বিষুধ যা খাচ্ছ খাও বাবা, খাওয়ার সময় কিন্তু ভালো করে প্রোটিন খেও। কেন? প্রোটিন খাওয়া মানে হচ্ছে, দেখো এই যে নাইট্রোজেন আর ফসফরাসের মধ্যে যে সিমিলারিটিটা রয়েছে, এক্সেসিভ নাইট্রোজেন অ্যান্ড ফসফরাস শুড বি অ্যাভেলেবল in your body. Then only you can prevent arsenicosis and enzymes can produce ATP. So these are all about your water pollution. Okay, thank you.